Welcome to the Second Briefing Podcast with Scott and Tom. We're recording from the Gunslinger Clubhouse in beautiful downtown Hillsboro.
Hey everybody, I'm Scott, and I spent 23 years on patrol at a local sheriff's office.
Hey, and I'm Tom. I spent 26 years at that same sheriff's office working with Scott.
In this podcast, we're going to be speaking with former and retired police officers about their life after police work and how they've been dealing with civilian life.
Hey, and maybe we'll have a little fun along the way. Boom, hashtag.
Okay, everybody, let's get to the podcast. Hey everybody, we have our first sponsor of the Second Briefing Podcast. Tall Fur Coffee was started by a retired police officer. Tall Fur roasts and packages their own coffee and has several blends such as Guatemalan and Sumatran. There is even cold brew if you prefer. It gets Tom and I ready for our day. I was not a coffee stop before, but now I am, and Tall Fur is the best.
Right now you go to tallfurcoffee.com and enter the code Second Briefing for 15% off your order. That's the number 2 with an ND briefing for 15% off your order. Thanks for Tall Fur Coffee for all your support.
Order yours today and support first responders.
All right, you ready?
All right. Hey everybody.
No, not yet. I got to start.
Oh, that's good.
I am the starter.
Sorry.
All right, welcome back to Second Briefing Podcast. You're here with Tommy Buckmaster and my partner over here,
Scott, I'm here.
Scott. The Scott. All right.
That's Scott.
Go ahead, Scott. What do you got for us?
Well, hey, we've been doing our Gerba segment, and I had a friend of mine named Tyler, and he asked me who or what the fuck is a Gerba.
It's not a little small thing in my my garden.
It's not a little guy that you put in your
my garden or my pocket.
Gerba is a guy that we worked with at our local sheriff's office. He's still got a couple more years.
He's still working.
So
Hashtag
he's getting
kill
close.
Gerba.
He's almost to the finish line, but we love him. This is what we do. The top 5 things Gerba does on the weekend. Number 5, he walks the mall in his size 15 white New Balance shoes.
Number 4, tells everyone that chicks dig his truck because it's ram tough.
He watches multiple Terminator movies and fantasizes about being a T-1000.
Number 2, works overtime in court security.
And the number 1 thing Gerba does on the weekend, the PBM edition, is he gets extra pineapple on his Hawaiian pizza.
Okay, I'm leaving this freaking shit show right now.
And with that, we welcome Mike.
Hey,
Hey,
sup,
Mike,
boys?
thanks for coming.
He might be a little Hawaiian in him too.
A little bit of Hawaiian.
A little bit.
We don't
He
put
keeps
we
that
don't
in his
put
pocket,
pineapple
doesn't
on
he?
pizza in Hawaii.
He put that.
Okay, see, you guys know.
That was direct from Gerba.
There's
So
no
you can't,
such-
I'm just the messenger.
Hey, Gerba, I know you're watching this. There's no such thing as Hawaiian pizza. Just because you put
It's not?
pineapple on Canadian bacon, it doesn't make it Hawaiian. My God.
Could it be a Canadian pizza?
I don't give a shit what it is. It's not Hawaiian.
Oh shit.
Hey, just the messenger, brother.
I'm just letting you guys know.
Well, obviously, you
I-
guys
I
know
agree
we
with
work.
you.
You can tell we've worked with Mike also. He worked with the same sheriff's office.
Yes,
He
sir.
retired a little bit, about a year before us, probably.
Yeah,
Year
I
and a
think
half, maybe?
I retired 23,
23
2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
How long were you in law enforcement?
Yeah, man. So let's see. I started off as a reserve in '95. So I got just under 27 years full time. And then
a
so
long
I started off at the the Sherwood PD.
Yeah.
As a reserve. Came in there and then worked there as a reserve for probably about little under a year and a half, and then I got
Yeah.
picked up full time.
We've had a
That was
couple.
my-
You're the second guy from that department.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you
Yeah,
would.
yeah. There's a bunch
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
there's a bunch of us that
Yeah.
have started there and
And it came over to us.
ended
Yeah.
and ended elsewhere.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Not that it was a bad place.
Yeah.
It was just, for me,
It's
They
it was
jump
small.
ship. You
just
start
small.
there and then jump ship.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
small, and at the time it was when I left there. I left there after 10 years, and it was like it was just time to go. Like they're changing of the guard there. The new chief was kind of a tool bag. Like actually,
my.
when I left there, I think if I recall, like 6 of us all left around the same time, and that's a
Yeah.
little tiny department. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
a bunch of
That
us
would
all left.
Ding
Like,
that department pretty good.
me and Jeremy C, who's up in detectives
Oh,
right
yeah,
now. Still,
yeah.
he and I came over here.
I remember that.
A couple other guys went to other agencies
Mhm.
around. Like a bunch of us left
Yeah.
all around the same time. It's a great department. There's good people there, but for me, it was time to go.
It's like moving out, right? Time to move out of the house.
Well, and the
Yeah.
other thing too, right, was
Outgrew it.
yeah. The other thing too was like I worked there and I lived in that city,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
And it's a
and
small
I just
little
never
city,
felt
too.
like I left. And then, shortly thereafter moved to West Lynn, and
You'd see everybody you arrest all the time at
yeah,
the store.
the one of the main things that pushed me to take off from there was had my son with me, who was probably 5. He's little at the time.
Yeah.
And took a dude to jail a couple nights before that for DV, and I'm in, and I was in line at Safeway, and the guy's standing 2 people behind me, just, and I'm like, oh, this isn't good.
Did he see you?
Yeah, he saw it because he was like,
He's giving you the eye.
Oh, yeah.
he was eyeball, and I'm there with my
He
little
was
kid.
saying, "I love you with my eyes."
Yeah, and so I was like, I just knew, like, yeah, I can't live here, shop here, work here. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Even if I went down the road to go shop at somewhere
Right.
else, I was still too close. So
Yeah.
so
Chance you could do it.
I ended up moving to Clackamas County and working out here,
Yeah.
I had that separation. I
Yeah.
felt like,
Yeah. That's
so
good though.
so
Out
yeah,
of sight, out of mind, really, kind of.
yeah, yeah. So I did 10 years over there and then came over here.
I've been lucky. Nobody's ever recognized me. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're not very noticeable
He
whatsoever.
changes his appearance every 4
Witness,
years.
I was in witness protection for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The blonde spikes. Now he's got the full, Santa
Yeah.
beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows who I am.
Yeah. Then we had the TB, grooming policy at the sheriff's
Yeah.
office
Oh,
come
yeah.
about.
We've talked about how many policies have been made. Yeah.
Oh man, so many
Yeah,
policies.
grooming
'cause of Tom.
policies. Yeah, that's
It
fun.
happens.
Mohawks.
It happens.
Yeah.
Pisha.
But yeah, so I started my career there, man, in
So you were
95. But
10 years in when you came into
Yeah.
our sheriff's
I
office.
was 10 years in when I came here, and and I went to college in Southern California, and I was testing with every agency I could, LA and Long Beach and Costa Mesa, and all these different agencies all over. And then I was there during the fires, the floods, the riots, the earthquakes. I was watching the Reginald Denny.
Oh
meeting.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was watching that
remember
live on TV, and we're like, what's going on? And
Yeah.
then, and then the riots that started after that, when all those LA guys got off,
Right.
I was there for that, and I was like, and I was in the process with LAPD. I was like,
Oh.
Maybe I should move.
I don't know if I really want to live down here. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's-
being from Hawaii, the sun and salt water and getting surf and do all that stuff, and living in SoCal, but there was just something about I didn't know if I wanted to be down there for all that craziness. So
Yeah. that'd
came
be
back
nuts.
up here and
A little
then
different
I
up here.
got picked up as a reserve pretty quick, and then, here I was working the road at Sherwood for
Yeah, I
10
played
years.
down there for CHP back in the day too.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
of course, didn't make it.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool to be a motor down there. I think
Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah. That'd
Yeah,
be
that'd
the
be-
pinnacle
yeah.
right there.
chips.
Yep.
Dun,
I
dun,
I have a
dun.
buddy of mine who's a sergeant for the LAPD, and he rides motor, and he lives like down in Huntington Beach and drives like 60 miles up the 405 to go to LA, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
and,
jeez.
But he's on a motor, and he just
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes it all the way.
their
So,
gas, yeah.
but you can have that stuff, dude, down there. So
No thanks.
yeah, and then 10 years after that, I came to our SO, and
What'd you do at the sheriff's office besides patrol?
man, so my sheriff's office, my last assignment, I was a SRO.
Right.
Got to work for Chad M. And it was,
Oh yeah. Old Chadwick.
Yep, there was
SROs. God,
good
it's
boss.
So
I mean,
easy over
I've had
there.
I've had some pretty good supervisors
Yeah.
in that assignment. We
Yeah.
had, had all those guys, and so SRO is my last. I was on MRT with Tommy here for
A lot of people were on MRT with
Long
Tom.
time.
yeah. We
I
were
think I was the
Well,
only
we were
one
on
that
the, I think
wasn't.
we were probably on the team the longest
yeah
because we were Grenadiers and they didn't really want us
Yeah.
off the team because we had the most seniority and
yeah
probably
Kelly,
had the most level heads.
Kelly put us
Knowledge.
made
Yeah.
us
Kind of thing,
That's
yeah.
a lot of knowledge.
un-
Yeah.
yeah
You just wanna give
unknowingly
everybody
gave
all
us
that equipment just to start.
unknowingly
people with
gave
it.
us the authority to be his grenadiers. So
Yeah.
we're like,
Red
and
team
he was
leader.
like, oh
Red
God.
team leader.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take these 40 millimeters and
Yeah,
if you see somebody with something, maybe
Yeah, just shoot him
thump
off
'em.
into the
the
crowd.
rabbit
yeah.
is hot, as we always wanted.
Yeah.
When we got that call,
Thump that guy in the leg right there.
yeah, see that guy,
Oh.
the agitator, go and smack him.
Yeah.
That guy's,
That guy's
we
the one.
want that guy.
We had a lot of
You
time
know?
in Portland there. It was fun.
Yeah. So I
But
did.
you guys both went down to Portland.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
A lot. We were down there years and years and years. So dealing
That's
with
just
all that
nuts.
nonsense, man, it was,
When Trump was elected, yeah. The first
Yeah.
time, 16.
yeah,
Oh,
people
man.
had lost their ever loving
You were
mind.
there when the guy got shot. We talked about that already with,
Yep.
Oh,
was.
the guy that came up and shot the other guy.
no, there was a gangbanger shot, a gangbanger shot a protester because
Yeah.
they tried to stop his car,
Yeah.
and a gangbanger shot
Oh,
the protester on
yeah.
was it the Burnside Bridge?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You don't stop a gangbanger's car.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, that's not
that's
smart.
just,
That's- yeah.
that's just thinning the herd
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, survival of the
You know,
fittest.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
like, that's the classic FAFO.
you made a
right there.
choice. Now you got to live with.
You
or
did.
not
You made a
live
very
with
bad choice.
consequences.
Yeah. Don't,
Yeah.
That was the
don't-
worst choice you made.
Note to self, don't do that.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Pick whose car you're gonna stop. You should be able to look and see. Maybe I
If
shouldn't
it's
stop
if
that.
it's got nice rims and it's bouncing,
and I
would-
shouldn't stop that lowrider.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're playing the song "Low Rider" as
Yeah.
it's coming up the.
Exactly.
They're,
Bridge.
they're,
Yeah.
the protesters downtown aren't the brightest
No.
bunch.
No.
Come on,
So,
someone's got to organize them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
He's
all
probably
good.
not there or she.
Yeah.
They're probably not there.
the they thems
Them.
get
Well,
thumbed
that
a
guy's
lot.
pronouns were was and were at that point, right? So I mean,
No, I think he survived
yeah, yeah,
because we were right there when it happened, and then I think
Yeah.
there's medics right there too.
yeah. It
Yeah.
was crazy. We were waiting to see where they wanted to deploy us, and then shots fired on the bridge, and we're like, well, we're right here.
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, back when we would ride on the skids and old Bobby R driving.
Yeah, we talked about that too.
Like
From
dude,
Southeast
like,
Precinct?
Like, does he know we're standing on the platforms and he's going like 40 into downtown? We're
Yeah.
like the biggest OSHA violation.
And it's hard to stay on those skids when you take a corner at 40. Just
Yeah.
so you know.
And
Oh
and
my
we're
gosh.
all geared up because we've got backpacks that have all the ammo, the munitions and gas in it,
I forgot he
and
was on too.
so
Yeah,
that
that's
stuff's
funny.
like heavy,
It's like the Flintstones holding on, and your legs
Oh,
are
it's
coming
crazy,
off,
dude.
coming off the skids.
Crazy. And it's wintertime and it's raining and it's cold, so we're
Yeah.
getting
So awesome.
it's like
It was awesome. It was so good. So much fun.
yeah,
Sounds like a blast.
it was a blast though.
Yeah, it was
literally
There's probably a lot
for
of
us.
fun.
It was
was
literally
a
a
good time.
blast.
Yeah.
You know, so I
Throw
did
everything
that.
you got. Throw everything you got.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was actually an order one time from a Portland sergeant. Throw everything you got.
Oh no.
Mask up, mask up.
Things are going south.
Yeah, it was.
Oh no.
I can say that now because I'm not working anymore.
No, you are not. Not working at all.
Yeah, we did some craziness down there, but it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So I was on the MRT for a long time. Then I was a FTO here at the SO,
Yeah.
and I can't remember how many recruits I've
I
had.
was going
But
to ask you.
Yeah.
You have more than 10?
I had more than 10.
Yeah.
I was a FTO for a good when we had
Long
that
time, right?
when we had that hiring where we hired a bunch of people,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember getting, I for at least like 2 years I had a recruit every 6
Just
weeks.
keeps coming, right?
Yeah, I
No
had
breaks.
one in
When was it? What year was that? Because we just kept
Was it-
getting them and getting them.
Mhm.
2010,
It was like
11,
So I
12,
came here
somewhere
and
there?
I came in 07, so
Oh,
it
maybe
was
as
like
soon
it was like
as 8 or
12. It was like
8, 9,
2012.
12. Okay.
Yeah, because
So
I
there was
became
a
an
lot of-
FTO pretty fast
So
after
it
I
was-
got here.
Mm-hmm. Well, because you had a lot of experience
Yeah,
already.
because I already had, and I was a FTO. My
You
other-
just- Why is he
an FTO? He's only been here for
Yeah, you just came right over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
You became like the.
I mean, my
idiot. He had 10 years.
my FTEP program was, I think I was 6 weeks in the car. I
6
think
weeks?
I had a coach every 2 weeks, and I
That's
was
not
pretty
very
much
long.
I was
Yeah.
pretty much done. You know, I mean,
well, the geography wouldn't be as
the
hard. 'cause it's
the
smaller.
geography was the only thing that I had to learn. Like
Yeah.
learning the 3 was
Oh, well, yeah. The county.
know,
yeah, well,
that-
it's like
that area.
roads going to nowhere. It's like
Yeah.
the Winchester Mystery House. You
Yeah.
know, 4 roads going into one intersection.
and I hated working at Alua. I was
Yeah.
just like,
Oh.
I'm over that. I'm never doing that again.
Tom loves
I
Aloha.
used to love it, but then I got sick of it.
What do we say about Aloha? It's where dreams,
Dreams go to
die.
It's where dreams go to die.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was a FTO, and then I was a IFAS instructor when I was at Sherwood, and then as soon as I got off probation, I was just thrown in here because it's all the same stuff, right? We all train together in interagency firearms, so I did that. And then I was got on mountain bikes for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I did that for for about 3 or 4 seasons, you know. And then, you know, and if anyone ever went through bike school with Stevie T, you know that he wasn't lying when he said,
I did.
when he wasn't lying when he said, you better start riding
Yeah.
because you got bike school coming up in 2 months and you better
You better get
You better get
We had to,
you
you had to
better
go
get-
buy those special tights at the bike store because
Yeah.
otherwise you wouldn't be able to walk.
He's
yeah,
a monkey butt.
yeah,
Yeah.
You better get
The cushioning, you know.
you better get your riding shorts and get
Oh,
your
man.
sit bones going. I'm like, why? And I quickly found out like that guy does not.
Brutal.
He does not lie. Like, and he goes fast.
Yeah.
You better keep up. So did bike school with him. Became an instructor through that. Did that for a while, and then the last thing I worked IGET for
Oh, that's right.
a turn.
Oh, yeah, I
So
forgot
had a-
about that. Yeah.
How many
yeah.
years did you do that?
I was on the team for 4.
Okay.
Did 4 years on GET. So probably one of my
And that
favorite assignments I had was working IGET.
because you kind of worked mostly Washington County, but you probably worked out other places, Multnomah,
yeah.
Clackamas.
Clackamas, went downtown Portland.
Yeah,
did
quite a bit.
stuff,
And
but
you
it
were-
was a cool assignment. It was fun. I mean, I tried promoting. I was on the list a few times, and for sergeant and for like when I got on IGET, I was on the sergeant's list. I was like number 3,
Yeah.
and I knew I wasn't going to get it because Steve Brown was already in there. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Stevie was there, and
Right.
he was number 1.
Right here.
And then,
There he is.
you know, John B was in win at the time, and he was
Oh,
number
yeah.
2, and I was number 3. So I knew I didn't really have a chance of getting it, but just to be on the list to get interviewed, just for get that experience. But that was like I literally got on IGET, and then that same week I had an interview for sergeant. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I always wanted to go to gangs,
Yeah.
and then if I lucky enough to get sergeant, like what am I going to do? Like
Because they would pull you off the team.
yeah, because
essentially.
because I'd never,
They don't do that anymore.
because we had Blake was the sergeant on the.
Yeah, I tried to.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, oh man, I get you on the team, but then you're gonna test out and like so. But I didn't get it, which is fine. And then and the funny part is why they told me why I didn't get it was Mike L, Mr. Flesh's phone in the toilet.
Oh. Yeah.
I can't think who Mike L is.
Mike L.
Yeah. Tip of the spear. He was a
I still.
he was a detective, and
My
then he
mind's
was a
all blank.
sergeant, and then he was lieutenant.
Oh. No, I still
Yeah.
can't get it. I'm,
Was a commander in the jail when he retired.
oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That
So,
goofball.
that guy.
Yeah.
So he told me like the reason I didn't get it is because I didn't know the sheriff's office culture yet.
Oh yeah.
That's why
Really?
he told me I didn't get it.
When
and I was like-
you don't worship
like-
the guys with the patch.
Like what?
Well,
what does that
well, he-
mean? Right?
when I
What does
got-
that mean?
I
When
don't know
got
what that
promoted,
means.
he said that the chevrons. He said, make sure when you put the chevrons on your shirt, like I was gonna do it.
You
Like,
put them upside down.
Yeah, put them upside down. He goes, no, don't put them upside down because if you put them right side up, that's a phallic symbol. Those are his words, and that's more power and more strength. If you put them upside down, you have less strength. Okay,
Okay.
They fill with
Yeah.
water if you put them upside
just
down.
a different individual for
Why would he
sure.
put- did he really tell you that?
He did. Well,
You don't go upside down
well,
unless you're in Canada
so when I interviewed, it was
or Great Britain.
Commander Jeff
Oh my God.
and Lieutenant Mike, not Dan, Mike. You gotta say Lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were in the office, and the commander was a big Oregon State guy, and he knew I went to Oregon State, so that was the big thing. Oh yeah, and of course I threw all these Oregon State things out, and I got
Yeah.
promoted. And then, well, he didn't think, and I was smart enough to know
Oh, my
that
God.
the other school where this guy went was Indiana State, and that's where Larry Bird played. And when they played against Magic Johnson in '79, and I go, oh, he goes, well, what's your favorite team? I go, Oregon State, of course, Commander. And then he looks at me, what's your second favorite team? And I go, the Sycamores. Of course, why wouldn't I pick Indiana State? You know, and he just smiled and
Dude, I want to
spit
walk
out
out
his
of here
shoe.
right now because I can't believe I'm still stuck on the fucking upside down chevron.
That's what he said.
What the
I
fuck?
swear to you, I'm sitting up and I go, okay, and I walked away and went over to the uniform gal and she
I
put
would have
him
walked
on.
out of the interview. I can't. You really?
This was after I got
Being
it.
in the
Yeah.
the army, you really gonna put shit upside down?
Yeah. Right.
Well, anyway.
You probably put the American flag backwards too on your shit.
And then back to Mike, the
God,
right Mike.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We
Today.
understand.
I'm still
So
like,
everybody,
what?
Tom is angry, and I
I
shouldn't
can't
have
get it.
brought
I
it
don't
up.
understand. I didn't even,
Nobody understood.
Coming from that guy,
Nobody
I'd
understood,
expect it,
though.
I guess.
Nobody understood.
Yeah.
So you were on the I Get for, you said about 4 years,
4, yeah.
and then is that when after that when, because it kind of went away.
It
about the
was
same time, or was it getting close?
It was. I think it was the next rotation after that. It started like they were going to.
There was that issue, and then they disbanded
yeah.
it because of there was some political stuff to it, but
Yeah.
there was also some internal strife.
Yeah, there
I
were
think.
some. Yeah, there were some
so to
issues
speak.
with it, but
Was
Yeah.
that when the other department took it over?
yeah,
What's that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was right
But there
in that
was-
transition.
Oh, were you? Okay.
I
There
was
was
right
one-
in that transition when we had a county
Because wasn't
supervisor and then a Hillsborough
Jeremy
supervisor.
B and Pat T, they were on it, right? And then
Yeah, Jeremy replaced me. He took my
Okay,
spot
okay.
when
that's
he,
right.
when he
I
came
thought you were on a-
when he came
And then
on.
there was-
he
I
was
thought you were on
he,
a long before that, but I guess I
yeah,
was wrong.
yeah.
No,
He
yeah.
came
Yeah.
on. He basically took my spot.
right,
Yeah.
and then that was
'Cause
when
I
they
was
had
on
the
there with-
internal issue.
Yeah.
Plus, there was the political thing about
Yeah,
gang
Yes.
teams and
Yeah.
database. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the other people.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then after that, did you go back to patrol right into SRO?
I went back to patrol for a while, and
Okay.
then I was doing bikes, and I was just doing all kinds
Oh,
of
so, that
stuff.
was,
So
the bikes was after that.
yeah, I think bikes was
Oh,
after that.
okay.
I mean, I can't remember
No, bikes.
what
You went back
order.
to bikes, I think.
Yeah,
'Cause you were
yeah,
filling.
because I got to do a lot of
You
stuff.
were filling
yeah.
back, I think, with bikes
Mhm.
because.
Oh.
'Cause I was always
Jeremy,
on- I was on-
Jeremy was,
You were always
that was just like a
certified.
couple years before we retired. That
Yeah.
was like 5 years ago or 6 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long.
Because I was thinking about putting it in gangs, and he talked me out of it back then.
Well,
Yeah.
probably
'Cause
better.
I remember I was at
because
the
it
fair
would've gone
talking to him
away.
about it.
Yeah.
That was just before the shooting.
Correct.
Like a year
Yep.
before that, I think.
Yep.
Yep. So I got, so I can't, even though I didn't promote and I tested, and I'd be like number 1, number 2, number 3 or whatever. And I just would never.
But as time
Get
goes
it?
on, it's like that. Well, how do I want to lose my seniority?
Well, and then
right?
that's what it became for me, right? It was like, I mean, like, do I want to do that? And like, I don't want to
worth
go
it.
to the bottom of the list again. And,
Start
so I
over.
just stopped testing and now, and not that I didn't want to do it or I didn't want to promote or just, for whatever reason it wasn't chosen. It wasn't for me, but I got to do so many different things at the sheriff's office that I have no complaints, man,
Yeah.
about working there. I mean, I've always,
Yeah.
I enjoyed my entire career there and I got to do a lot of stuff and I have, no complaints whatsoever. I got to do so
That's
many
good.
different specialties. Like when I retired and the sheriff was reading off, how he reads off, like he did this and this.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, you did a lot of stuff here. I'm like, yeah. I go, why not?
Once or twice, yeah.
I got to work for a lot of cool people and
Yeah.
I kept my nose clean and just did my stuff. And, so, I cannot complain about my
That's
career
good.
here. I miss it. I miss the people. I don't miss
That's what
the
we all
nonsense.
say. Yeah. We all
I don't miss the
people.
nonsense, but I mean, like, just flying into town and getting to do this real
Yeah.
quick and
Well,
see
it's great
everybody.
for here because you don't live in the state anymore. So
No.
that's, yeah.
I live in America now.
America.
I
America.
live in Arizona, man.
He lives
It's-
in the sun.
You're not in the People's Republic, huh?
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
not in a, no. I laugh at this place when I look at it on the news. I'm just like, I'm so glad I don't live there. Like when I got off the plane yesterday and I got in my rental car, I'm starting to drive. I'm just like, ugh, God,
You can just feel it, right?
yeah, I just like, ugh, I just do not want to. I just so glad I don't live here anymore. I called my wife. I'm like, I'm so glad we don't live here anymore. And the weather's beautiful and it's great here and stuff. But,
Now it is, right? Today.
but
Today,
driving down,
Yesterday.
but driving down 84, man, and it's nothing but tent city and
Yeah.
graffiti
Oh, yeah.
and garbage
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh, it's not as bad as it was.
Oh, yeah.
either.
Yeah.
It's cleaned up a
Yeah,
little,
a little bit.
actually.
It's sad, dude. It's
Yeah.
sad because Portland's
Terrible.
freaking was a beautiful city one time
Yeah.
until those all the BS happened down there. And now
Yeah.
it's a ghost town. It's sad, dude.
Yeah.
Because
A lot of places have left, and
mm-hmm.
They're trying to fix
Yeah.
it, but it's going to take forever, I bet.
But
It'll
yeah, man,
take a
I'm
while.
happy where I live, dude. I just
Good.
a
you've been down there for how long now? A couple years now?
year now, just a
Just a
year,
year?
just
That's
a
it?
year, a
Wow,
little over a
seems like
year.
it's
We
longer.
moved a year ago March, so
Yeah.
so it's good.
A little warmer.
But I'm still up here all the time.
Yeah.
Still up here all the time. So my kids are here, mom's here. So
So you were at the sheriff's office, and then I think you had a little bit of an injury there towards the end, and then
Yeah.
you were able to find something, and you were already eligible to retire,
yeah.
and then you found something. What did you found? So what are you doing now?
So now I work for a volleyball company called P1440,
Yeah.
and it's
Big volleyball.
yeah,
Mike hates volleyball.
yeah. That's kind of my
Volleyball.
yeah. Yeah, man. I
My
was
mic was off. Sorry, volleyball.
I was there. I got to
Nicely done.
a friend of
Nicely
mine
covered.
called me and
Yeah.
said, "Hey, there's this company that's looking for a event operations guy, and I'm going to give them your name."
Mm-hmm.
Because for the last 10 years, I've been running the Seaside Beach Volleyball Tournament.
Right. Now, is that
For-
through, it's on your hat there, the
Yes,
Bad Boys Open?
Bad Boys Open Volleyball. That was
Okay.
how I started Bad Boys Open Volleyball was when I was at Sherwood PD.
Yeah.
It was shortly after, right before 9/11, right when 9/11 happened. So a couple years before, I was like, I'm a volleyball guy. I got a ton of people because I played volleyball in college and all that stuff, and always loved the game. It was just something that I enjoyed. And so I was like, well, I'm the president of the association down there.
Yeah.
What can we do to do a fundraiser? And so I started the Bad Boys Open Volleyball Tournament
Yeah.
through our association down there. And it just got to the point where I ran it every year, and people in the volleyball community are like, hey, when you run in the Bad Boy, and it just kind of became this event,
Mhm.
right?
And that was at Sherwood. Okay.
Yep. And so I started it in 1999, and I ran this tournament every year. And every year we would donate proceeds from this tournament to Wounded Warrior Project, to Children's Cancer Association, Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'd always pick a charity, and we'd donate money to
Right.
from the event to these different charities.
Yeah.
And so and when I left Sherwood, no one wanted to continue it because people just the guys at the agency they weren't volleyball guys, and they just didn't care. So I ended up just keeping it. I kept the name,
Right.
and I kept the event, and I just kept going.
Grew up playing volleyball, right? I mean,
yeah. If
in
you know
California.
anyone from Hawaii knows that volleyball is the state sport down there. And then
Yeah.
I played in college in California and all that.
Right.
And so I just kept running this event, and then over the years, it's just kind of turned into a brand, and it became a company. And so now it's it's an event management company. So I do basically run tournaments all over the country, right?
Yeah.
For P1440, but I also do it for myself. So I was running Seaside.
How long have you been running the Seaside one?
So I've been running the Seaside tournament for the last 10 years. This will be my 10th year, I believe.
Okay.
And the Seaside Beach Volleyball Tournament is the largest beach volleyball tournament in the United States.
I can't remember.
How
where
did you get started with that, though?
So I used to play that tournament every summer. I played it
Mhm.
all the time. I've been playing that tournament since I
I can't.
was.
Remember. It's always been. I mean, I can't remember what has been going on.
It's
It's
been on there
40.
forever.
It's like 40. I think this is the 45th year or 44th year this year. It's going to
Yeah.
be happening.
Jeez.
I remember going down there when I was
So-
in like high school, driving my car down there.
Yeah. So it's
Partying down there.
yeah, it's been going on for a long time. So I first played that tournament when I was 18 years old. When I graduated high school, I heard about it and I played in it, and that tournament's just been carried on. So I took it over about 10 years ago. The guys who were running it, the contract expired, and they went out and looked for a new tournament director. So me and my buddies at the time were like, well, let's throw our name in the hat. We run tournaments all the time.
Yeah.
It'll be just like running a bunch of tournaments simultaneously,
Yeah.
and we're like, holy smokes. Like, we got there, we built this thing out, and we ran it, learned a lot our first year, but every year we ran it. We just got better and better and better and more efficient at it. And
Right.
10 years later, we're still running it, and we've grown the event every year by about 200
I
teams.
mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
last
It's
year,
huge.
we built 205 courts. And there's, mind you, at
What was
Seaside,
it when you saw it first in high school? How many courts do you think there were?
back then, I think it was maybe 60, 70 courts. Maybe.
Do you remember how
So
many
it's
when you
more
took it
than
over
tripled.
when we
10
took it
years
over?
ago? What it was? Do you remember that?
When we took it over, I think it was 138 courts or
So
something
you've at
like
least
that.
doubled it by now.
We've almost doubled.
Yeah.
We're at 210 this year. We're going to build, and we're I think over 2,100 teams now.
Ooh.
So it's
Oh
a
my
monster, right? I mean, I go down there the week before and I start building this thing out.
They
Well,
got to
and
build more
I've heard-
hotels down there. There's not enough
yeah.
room for everybody to stay down
Yeah.
there.
The owner of our sponsor here, he was telling us,
it's
Scott,
Tall Fur
he was telling us
Coffee.
that He was
Oh.
going down there. It takes you forever to set those things up.
Yep.
It's a lot of work.
We start
He told me
building.
about
So
it.
the tournament starts on a Thursday. We go down there on Saturday and we start building on Sunday. We build Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tournament starts Thursday, goes Friday, Saturday, into Sunday, and then part of Sunday we start tearing stuff down Sunday morning. So we
Right.
compress everything into the middle, and we work
the-
our way from the outside, and we start compressing everything, taking everything in, and then we'll have everything torn down by Monday or Tuesday the following week. So it's a long stint, but
Yeah, but it's probably a lot of fun though. Still,
it is, and being part of the volleyball community, it's
Yeah.
it's kind of a honor to kind of be a part of it because
Yeah.
it is. I mean, we submitted for Guinness, and I think I don't know if they're coming this year, but we submitted for Guinness Book, and we're the largest beach volleyball tournament in the world.
Really?
Oh,
All
I
beach,
did not know that.
all beach volleyball.
Really?
Because there's a big tournament and all in one weekend, right? There's another tournament that's really big in Bibione, Italy, called the Volleyball Marathon. And they've got more teams, but they do it over like a 2 or 3 weekends. So it's
okay.
not all at once. Like
Oh.
we do it all at once.
You do it like all
They
simultaneously.
break, they
like-
do it, and then they take a break, and then they continue, right? So theirs is in it. As far as we're concerned, like we're the all
You
inclusive.
do it all like 3
Guinness-
days, right?
Guinness
We do it all.
agreed, huh?
Yeah.
and we do it all
Nice.
at once. So, and if we, just talking to people that have come, I mean, people come from Hawaii, from Canada, almost all the states are represented. Like there's, a ton from California, Florida, Texas, people come from Idaho, Washington, all over the place. And it's, we get 10,000 people on the beach in a day
Oh, Jesus.
during the day. Like it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
A lot of spectators.
like
and people
and
come
it's
to
all the way
watch,
from pro beach volleyball all the way down to like 10
Super
10-year
novice.
olds
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
and everything in between, and we even have like a masters, which is like 50s and 60s.
At your age, Scott.
Yeah.
At you.
Wait, I'm not the oldest. Actually, I'm the youngest. Well, our engineer is the youngest in the room, but of the three of us, I'm the youngest.
Give it up for Robbie.
Yes.
Our engineer.
Good job, Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie.
He does a great job. Does a great job over there, Robbie.
He gave us the thumbs up.
Yeah, he gives thumbs up. He's camera shy. He's also
You
witness
get,
protection.
celebrity volleyball players at this thing now? I would imagine you do get something.
Celebrity in the sense of they're professionals. Like we
Right.
had last year, over the last couple years, we've had 3 of the guys that have played in the Olympics in beach volleyball played the
Karch
Seaside Beach
and
Volleyball
some of
tournament.
those guys, or no?
No, Karch
That's
never
too
played
big.
it.
Yeah.
Look at him
That's
throwing names
that's
out
old
there,
school.
Scott.
Well, I knew a couple.
That's
Scott's
pretty
throwing
good.
out big names.
Yeah.
Look at that. I
Not
have
a lot
no
of people
idea.
know who that guy is.
Curly?
Woo!
I can't say his last
Karai.
name. Karai. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at Scott.
I remember watching him in
Yeah.
the Olympics.
Yeah,
Big brain.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, once in a while it works.
But
Yeah.
we've had some current Olympians play in it. So,
That's cool.
So it's cool. We get the pros coming in. We get old. We've had top coaches that are in the beach volleyball world. They still come up and play in it, and then
That's cool.
some guys, I think some people probably recruit and do all that kind of stuff. But it's a big event. But it's mostly it's just a party.
Yeah.
It's
Because it's still separate from your current job, right?
Yes,
It's a separate
yes.
entity.
Yes.
right?
So I mean, the Seaside tournament is my own through Bad Boys
Right.
Open, and then Platform 1440 or P1440, who I work for, was
Right.
founded by Carrie Walsh Jennings, the beach volleyball Olympian,
Okay.
and so, it's pretty crazy. I was like big fan, and then now she knows me by my name,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like wow.
Work for her.
Yeah.
She's super cool and like
Yeah.
one of the most down to earth people, and she's it's catered all to junior girls beach volleyball. So a lot of these kids like they're fighting for scholarships and stuff like that, and just growing the sport. And because beach volleyball is a NCAA sport,
Right.
so it gives these kids a ton of opportunity to go play in college and stuff. So it's pretty cool, man. It's great people. I work with some really cool people there at the company, and
you get to travel
and
quite
I
a bit,
yeah,
right?
like the reason I'm here, I was running a tournament this last weekend in Spokane.
Yeah.
And then I flew back through here to see family and see the boys and stuff, and then
Yeah.
I'll go back home, and then I go to Virginia Beach for an event, our junior national championships.
Oh, cool.
In Virginia Beach, and what's cool about Virginia Beach is they have right on the the boardwalk or whatever, where they have all the hotels and where we have the tournament,
Right.
they have a huge, and I don't know if it's such a great thing, but it's a huge memorial for law enforcement there. Like,
Ooh, that's cool.
it's very cool. Like, but I look at the thing, I'm like, there's a lot of cops that
Yeah.
give the ultimate sacrifice
Yeah.
here. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's great to honor that, but it's kind of sad at the same time that
Yeah.
there's that many names on there.
Yeah.
But when I was there the first time last year, and I saw that, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I made sure every cop I saw over there, I shook their hand and said thank you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, because that's what I do now, man. It's like every cop I see in Arizona, I introduce myself and tell them thanks, and go buy him go buy a coffee for him, and not to upset Scott, but there's a Black Rifle Coffee down there. They have their own.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
They're,
they have
they're pretty big, I guess.
they're
Yeah.
huge military police stuff. So I threw a patch on the wall there, and then I bought a gift card, and so anytime cops come in and get coffee, I already paid
Right.
for it. So
There you go.
just my way
Yeah.
of saying thanks to people. So
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Most if I go see a cop, they always kind of shun me a little bit.
yeah, well, you look like a dirtbag.
Yeah, I
so.
know. Sorry.
He looks like he was on the
always
drug
say-
enforcement team or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Undercover
I have people
guy.
say you're not a cop. You weren't a cop. He was a biker. I said, trust me, I was. You want a patch?
Well,
You don't look like I know what cops look like. You don't look like a cop.
sorry.
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was funny because we were working together. I found this amazing photo of you from, I don't know, you're probably in college age. And it was just
I
you
know.
and he was just
I know where
so
this is
young
going.
and so handsome and he had this just gorgeous hair. And this is the nickname I gave him. It didn't stick as well as the one I'm going to have him tell a story about in a little bit, but I called him HGM for the Hawaiian George Michael because he really looked like George Michael, the beautiful hair from the 80s
the
and all that stuff. And
The long
I
Pro
would put
Beach
it.
volleyball hair.
I found a copy of it and I pasted it all around the office and just put HGM on it. Like, what does that mean?
Oh my
Hawaiian George.
God.
And then it was funny because I remembered
I
a
found
couple
that
of different
thing
times.
everywhere, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you
Go
know,
to clean my vest. I go to
There
take
was a
my
picture inside the vest.
my LBV, dude, and I open it up. And I'm like,
It's-
what? And there's a piece of paper folded up. I open it up, and it's my
It's-
freaking face. And
It's-
I
it
knew
just-
exactly.
He
who
was
it
just so. I mean, he's still very handsome, but it was just the hair, and he was just playing volleyball. He was jumping
His
or
skin's
spiking.
been
Or
kissed by the sun. That's
Well,
why.
And then I remember I would drive into the pumps in the wintertime, and I was listening to the Christmas station because, as we all know, I'm a Christmas guy.
He's Christmas.
And he's already there pumping gas.
Mr.
and
Griswold.
I turn up that Crown Vic as loud as I can because it was playing Last Christmas by Wham, and you could hear it from blocks. I mean, there's nobody
And I'm
out.
like,
It was like late at night, and all I see him, and I'm laughing my ass off, and all I see is this from Mike. He's just flipping me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want yours.
Last-
Wham and a
last
Hawaiian
Christmas.
pizzas were my
Yeah.
PTSD moments
Yeah.
from the sheriff's office. I
Yeah,
think.
he really likes Hawaiian pizza. I'm telling you. I've seen him eat it.
There isn't such a thing as wine pizza.
I know.
But
It's called Canadian
you
pizza.
got to tell us. So this other nickname you had, PBD,
PBM.
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 I'm getting them all mixed up. PBM.
No.
And
You said Christmas. That's why you got all
yeah,
excited.
yeah, I'm very excited about Christmas and Mike. But tell us that story. You got a nickname,
Oh.
and this call you went on.
So, and I was pretty. I think I was pretty new to the SO at the time.
2-3 years
And
on,
I-
maybe, huh?
Yeah, I
be
leave
a song.
Sherwood, and what district do I get when I'm on my own?
The
Back
area
down
where
to the
Sher- yeah,
where Sherwood was,
which
you know,
encompasses all
which-
of that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Which
a little
was-
more area, but
which was
It's a
fine
big area, but
because
it's small. It's a small area for. There's not a lot of county area in there, but it's a big area.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so it was like I knew the area, so
yeah,
okay, fine, whatever, I'll work there.
yeah,
So there, like back in the day in briefing, right? The sergeants would read off all the greenies of all the people who had warrants,
yeah.
right? And so this guy, Michael, and I won't say his last name, but I knew who he was because I arrested him a bunch of times. And but with him, he had caution warrants because he had roid rage, right? He fought one time. And so
Because he,
Ever
he
since
did
then-
take steroids, right?
yeah,
Or
he
something?
was,
Okay.
he was like
Fairly good
worked
shape,
up,
I guess,
pretty
yeah.
good. Yeah, but the
Yeah.
one thing with this guy was the one thing with this guy was he was-
morning. Yeah.
this dude was flamboyantly gay, like
oh yeah.
super gay, right? And which is fine if you're that way. I don't care. But
Yeah.
but I knew who he was, and I arrested him a few times over the years. And so I had a rapport with him, I guess.
Yeah.
And so he had a warrant. So I'm like, well, I'll go. I'm going to try and go get this warrant
But
later.
when there's a caution, you have to take
But
people
when
with
it
you,
caution,
right?
you got to take people with you. So we had what, 3 other guys or 2 other people that had to go. Right.
Right.
So I get there and I knew where he lived and I knew all the cars he had and I knew where his house was. And so I did a drive-by.
It was a nice neighborhood in that
Yeah.
area. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, and, and I see all the lights are on in the house. It's like 11. All the lights are on. I can see all the cars are there. So I know this dude's home.
And it's 11 at night.
Yeah.
not
It's
during the
11
day.
at night.
He's working
And so,
graveyard.
yeah, this was 5 to 3. And so, yeah, the 5 p.m., 3 a.m. shift.
That was a good shift,
That
yeah.
was my favorite, man. And so I go over there and I have a King City guy with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have one of our guys from the SO with me, and I cannot remember who it was. And I
Okay.
apologize for that, but it doesn't matter
Right.
as part of this story for all intents and purposes. So I go and I go there and I knock on the door, and this guy opens the door, little Justin Bieber, pretty looking dude with the shirt off the shoulder.
Oh,
And I'm
no.
like, hey, I'm, sheriff's office. I'm looking for Michael. He has a warrant. You need to have him come to the door, and I got one guy, he's on the back side of the house,
Yeah.
and it's us 2 at the door.
So he doesn't squirt
And-
out the back.
Yeah. And the squirt out the back. I got
That's when we could do that. Back in the day, we could do that.
Yeah, back when you could, And
Yeah.
so,
When you can walk in people's backyard.
Yeah.
yeah. And so the guy goes, well, he's not here. I said, I know. I go, that's his car. That's his car. That's his car. And I know he's here.
Mhm.
So you need to have him come to the door. She's like, well, he's not here. I go, okay, this is how the game's going to work. I said, if I go, you're telling me he's not here and I come back and I find out that he is here, you're going to go to jail too.
It's called hindering.
Yeah.
He goes, he's upstairs.
that was very quick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And so I go, can I come in? And like, yeah. So, and being this guy having roid rage and he's doing all this stuff, he was very paranoid. So we start searching the house looking for him, which at the time was probably not the best idea tactically, looking at it, like if you had, guns and stuff and we're, he knows the house inside the house better than we do. Well,
Right.
Well, all the doors had beepers on them. So you could hear him like going from room to room, like, dude, we could hear
Or like little sensors on the
yeah,
doors.
he had
Oh, that's
sensors
weird.
on the doors, like which I thought was weird. So we finally
Was
get
he
to the
trying
master.
to hide.
He was trying to
Okay.
hide, yeah. So he's trying. Every time we went in one room, he went in another room and was doing this kind
Like a
of
little maze.
cat and mouse stuff. I was thinking I was going to find the Gimp from Pulp Fiction up in that
Oh
house.
my, yeah.
So I finally find this guy. Finally find this guy in his bedroom.
Yeah.
And he's in his bed. He's got the covers pulled up, but all I see is knuckles and forehead. So I could see both hands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, dude. I said, Michael, you know why I'm here. You know who this, it's Griffin. I go, you're under arrest. You got a warrant.
Yeah.
I already confirmed the warrant, did everything. And he's like, okay, fine. And he's in tighty whities. I'm like, dude, you need to put some pants on or something. Like he goes, okay, fine. He goes, you can take me to jail. I just want to tell you one thing. I go, yeah, what's that? And by this time I got the King City guy and my
the
my
county
fellow
guy.
deputy
Yeah.
guy with me. And he goes, I just want to tell you one thing. I'm like, yeah, what's that? He goes, you are a pretty brown man. And I'm just like, holy shit. And these, of
course, those guys are probably
the other 2 guys
losing
are
it.
like this. So I ended up taking him to jail and all done. Right. Next day, back in briefing.
The story no one knew about it at
No
all.
one
No
knew-
one knew anything.
No one knew shit about this. And we're sitting there and we're in briefing again. And they're going through the list like, all right, well, okay, Griffin arrested Michael. So that one's gone. Blah, blah. And I'm like, and I'm just sitting there and all of a sudden, Johnny Jerkoff, who I worked with, who I don't know, I cannot remember for the life of me who it was, goes,
The same guy that was at the scene.
yeah, with
Okay.
me. He goes, I got something. I look at him. I'm like, I look at
Good
him
for
like,
him.
dude, you better.
Keep it
And
shut.
I wish I cannot remember who it was, and I wish it was so I could put
Dine
them on
out
blast
the-
right now.
Yeah.
He goes, that guy thinks Griffin's a pretty brown man.
Oh no.
And I'm like, what? And everyone's cracking up laughing.
Yeah.
And who's sitting across from me on the table is Robert R. Sergeant.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
And he goes, I'll vouch for that. And everyone starts laughing. I'm just like, oh man. And so he goes, first one to use PBM over the radio, I'm buying coffee.
And I was working that night because I was like, oh, I'm going to do that because I wasn't on the call, but I was there the next day. I remember doing that.
Yeah.
And he is so fast on the radio.
Yeah.
Robert R.
Yeah.
And
so we went to
it was right Walker, just west of Murray. There was some
we
call.
had it was a Berg.
Yeah.
And
we
so
all got dispatched to it.
Yeah. And so we did containment on the house, right?
Yeah. I remember that.
And I'm on the backside of the house. And
we
the guy, okay, we got him in custody.
Instead of using our call sign.
Yeah. Got him in custody. And he goes, PBM, you can come around front.
Yeah. Dude, I was trying to do it. And I tried to click my radio. Add to the story, and it went. He was already on it because I think he had it here. And he was ready.
And he's just, and then you can hear all throughout everybody just like, and everyone's cracking up laughing, right?
And that name lasted forever.
Yeah, well, it's still to this day. It's like, and then fast forward a week later, I'm walking through the SO, and Gil, LT Gil is walking.
Oh God!
And I'm walking through there. I'm like, hey, LT, what's up, man? He goes, PBM, how you doing? I'm like,
of course, yeah. Even lieutenants are calling you that.
And so that that little
funny.
nickname stuck forever, man. Just PBM, So I even told my kids that I coach volleyball, my team. I told them that story, and they all laughed. And at the end of the thing, they gave me Coach PBM plaque because I told them that story.
That's awesome.
There you go. It stuck with you after the fact.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So that.
That's funny.
Nice.
That's a great way to get a nickname.
Oh, yes, man. It is.
Yeah, I wear it with honor. It was pretty funny looking back on that career. And I probably would tell that story, even probably embellish it a little bit if I had a couple beers in me, but to do the voice. But
yeah,
it was.
Do you have any other?
Take that pen from me.
The pen. Oh yeah.
Am I clicking?
Yes.
I apologize,
my God.
everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna hide it.
So
do you have any other funny little stories that?
Yeah.
I mean,
so I'm gonna
put me on the spot. Yeah.
So Brian Yu.
Oh yeah.
His little brother or big brother of little brother. Big brother. His brother's at the office too. So we were working same shift.
Gary.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's Gary. It was Gary, not Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And he is.
But you're talking about Brian.
Yes, I'm talking about Brian.
Gotcha. Sorry.
We are, and it was me and Primary and.
Oh, Primary.
And
I always forgot about that.
Me and Primary.
That's not his real name, but we know who he is.
Yeah. Me and Primary and Brian are in the locker room getting ready to go home.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, and we're kind of talking about the night. Like, hey, how was that big fight you had out of the migrant camp? Because he worked the West End, the 7 and stuff. And he's like, oh man. He goes, that fight was fine, because I was going to roll down there and help him with it because I was down in the 4. And he goes, I go, it was fine. He goes, it ended up just a bunch of migrant camp, and they were drunk and fighting. I go, oh, so nothing. He goes, yeah, they were all just drunk on T-Kate. And me and Primary look at each other and we're like, T-Kate. I look at him and go, you mean Tecate?
Oh, I'd never heard this story.
And so from that day forward, I called him T-Kate. He's been T-Kate ever since.
Oh my!
We got a freaking kick out of that, and for years and years and years, we called him T-Kate. Freaking T-Kate.
Oh, no.
They were drunk on T-Kate.
I love
Is
a
that
good.
some kind of new drug?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like
T-Kate.
T-Kate. So when you guys see him, call him T-Kate.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But one of the funnier stories I had was when I was working at Sherwood, and they have this festival down there called the Robin Hood Festival.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a giant LARPing nerd alert.
Swordblade,
Dude.
bow and arrow.
Live
Like
action role play.
They get into it. They're like,
It's like when Gerba was the sheriff of Shiloham.
it.
You're welcome, Mikhail.
Hashtag.
Yeah, and so
The old Gerba.
So I'm get a call of this guy, and they it was a pretty big deal with the city down there, and they had a beer garden and all this kind of stuff. And
Right.
so I'm working graveyard at the time. It was early in my career, and this guy get a call of this guy trespassing and exposing himself in the front yard.
Yeah.
And I'm literally like right around the corner. So I find this guy, and he's drunk off his mind,
Yeah.
and he's taking a leak in this lady's front yard, right?
Mhm.
So I stop him like, hey, dude, like you can't be peeing in the middle of a lady's yard. At least go behind a bush or a tree or something. I go, now, that's why I'm talking to you. I like, and he's like, oh, okay. And so I go, I got to know who I'm talking to. So just give me your ID. And I was going to kick him loose and get him going.
Right.
And I noticed in his hat, he's got a marijuana cigarette. And this was back when,
Yeah.
less than an ounce was a crime and
Yeah.
all that stuff, which was no big deal. I wasn't going to hook him for it or anything, but he's got
Another reason to chat with him.
yeah,
anyway,
I got a reason, right?
Yeah.
So I run his name, and he's got a warrant for
Of course he
fail
does.
to appear.
Well, why wouldn't
For
he?
less than an
Right? Probably for something.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, bro. I go, you got a warrant. Unfortunately, I got to take you to jail. So
Yeah.
is there anything on you that I need to know about? Because you can't bring it into the jail. Anything illegal? He's like, no, man.
It's not right now because
I
it's
got
nothing
nothing.
really.
I
You're gonna
got
get
nothing.
kicked loose in like probably a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
It's
go,
nothing.
you got nothing. I go, he's
You're gonna
like,
make it a felony. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
warn you.
Yeah.
I want to know
I
now
go,
because
you
I don't
have
want any more
anything.
paperwork.
I go, you have
giving you a heads up.
I'm giving you a big heads up, and they don't
Yeah.
really understand that. Really.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh no, bro," and he's like, "Super." I go, "Well, what about this?" And I reach up in his hat and I pull the joint out, and he sits there and he just kind of looks at me. He's like, "Oh, I was gonna smoke that later."
Forgot about that, dude.
And so I take it, I just squash it, I get rid of it. I go, "Well, I'm not gonna charge you with it, but I go, but you got to go to jail."
You need
So
to
I
stomp
take him
that
to
out,
jail.
dude. You need to
Yeah.
squish
And
it.
all the way to the jail, dude, this guy had me laugh. I kind of felt bad taking him to jail because he was such a nice guy, and just because he was
Yeah.
probably drunk and high
Yeah,
at the same
Sure.
time.
Yeah.
And the whole time, like the car with one headlight would pass. He's like, "Just stop the car. Let me out here. Go get them, dude. It's all good." Like
Good
Stop
dude.
those guys.
all the way
Come
to the
on,
jail.
let that guy go.
All
Let
the
me
way
go.
to the jail, and I took him in, and he's like, "All right, thanks, man. You're super cool," and blah blah blah. And that guy made me. That
that's
guy made
funny.
me laugh, dude. So I mean,
You got nothing. Are you sure?
yeah, you sure
Yeah.
you got
Yeah, I
nothing
know.
on you? What about this? And like, oh, he's like the most like
He's
saddest,
so deflated now.
He's
just
took
the
the air out of his head.
saddest,
Oh.
bummed
Yeah.
like reaction ever. It's just,
Come on,
it's
man.
like, oh, I was gonna smoke that
You're
later.
a buzzkill.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
man.
God. So
That's funny.
yeah, I got a Gerba story for you though.
Oh, you got to do a Gerba story.
Yeah, let's get a hashtag kill Gerba. One more.
And killing Gerba.
So I got a couple Gerba stories. So
Well,
we're-
everybody's
we're
got a
sitting-
Gerba
Who
story.
doesn't have a Gerba story?
Man,
Yeah.
you need to get a life.
And it's fun picking on Gerbs, right? Like Gerb,
You need a hobby.
You gotta love that guy. And
You know
so-
he's got a boat, by the way.
And a little German that rides in the boat with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was Irish, but okay.
Okay.
So I see Gerber
Russian,
one day, comes
actually.
in, with his fresh haircut,
His
looking
white-
all,
gosh.
Sparkly
looking all-
white shoes.
looking all clean and
Giant
pretty.
white shoes, mall shoes.
We're sitting there and briefing, and I look at Gerbs, and I'm like, we get done briefing, and he's sitting there, and he's on his computer. I'm like, bro, who did it? I'll kill him. He's like, what do you mean? I go, who did it, dude? I will kill them. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, your haircut.
Who chopped your hair off?
He's like, oh,
Come on, man.
He's like, come on,
What's
dude.
wrong with my
I'm like,
haircut?
"What?"
Who scalped that head?
Oh, my
Was it
God.
the at the Kid and Play, the real tight?
Oh yeah. It was.
That he
It
does.
was. It was. It was.
The kid.
And it was summertime. Like he must have been on that boat because it was like white.
Oh yeah.
You could see
Put a
the
little,
tan. You could see.
Well,
the
there
tan
was
line.
hair there, and then when he cut it, and he's tan from here down.
Yeah, it was
or
like-
well, in his case,
You
red.
put some
Yeah.
sun in there too.
Yeah.
It was red.
Maybe a little lemon juice.
Yep.
3 shades of Kip. Red.
Yeah.
Kip B.
Can't be.
Lord B.
Oh God, Mister
Yeah.
Drink a whole bunch of soda.
Don't you have another one about Gerba? Good one? About
Oh,
his,
yeah,
about
yeah.
his,
Give us
so-
one. Give
about
us
his
one.
big truck.
So Gerba, I always
Oh.
like teasing Gerba, and Gerba,
Yeah.
Gerba's always a good sport and
This
stuff.
isn't for
And-
sensitive
He is a good
ears.
sport.
This
We'll
isn't
give him
for
that.
sensitive ears.
Well, they give
Yeah,
Gerba a
not
good
trying to
sport.
offend anybody, but this is just funny. So
This
I
is
had
just what happened.
I had this sticker that fits perfectly over license plates, and a good friend of mine in California, he has a sticker company and stuff. So he had all these.
Oh, that's where you get them from.
Yeah,
Okay. All
yeah.
right.
So
Oh yes.
he had the sticker, and it said, I'm not gay, my boyfriend is.
Oh,
And so
geez.
it just happened to fit perfectly.
Don't look at me.
It happened to fit perfectly over the Dodge emblem on the tailgate of Gerber's truck.
Oh, no.
And Gerber, like we all do, we all back into our spots at the SO, so you don't really check the back of your car when you leave. So
Yeah, you just take
I
off.
stuck it
Yeah.
on the tailgate and just kind of left it and never said anything. And weeks and weeks and weeks went by, and Gerber never brought it up or anything like that. And finally one day I see Gerber in the office, and I walk past him and I say, "I'm not gay, my boyfriend is." And he turns to me and he looks at me. He goes, "Was that you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you bastard." He starts laughing. And he goes, "When did you put that on there?" I go, "When did you find it?"
Yeah, you tell me
He
first.
goes, "I was at the lake this last weekend, and I'm cranking the trailer on my boat, and I saw it." I go, "You just saw it this last weekend?" He's like, "Yeah." I go, "Bro, that's been on there for like probably a month."
Oh, my God.
He's like, "I thought one of my boat buddies did it." I go, "Nah, I go, it was me." So ever
Wow,
since
that was
then,
on there
I
a
would.
long time.
It was on there almost a month,
That's pretty awesome.
and it just fit perfectly on the tailgate,
Nice.
right over the Dodge emblem. Just
Dude, hashtag kill Gerber.
Hashtag
not
kill
observant.
Gerber.
So-
I'm not gay, but my boyfriend is.
Gerber was not
Not
the only one I
observant.
did that to. I did that to a bunch of people. I did it to Haley. I did
Well,
it to,
you had the one that was when we had my retirement party, you were here and you did it to somebody else. You put it on their car or something. I went to go somewhere the next day because I didn't drive that day, and I go to the back of my car because I back into my driveway. Weird, cops
Yeah.
do that. And I look, and it's a sticker. And I go, I knew he did something. This is, let's get one thing straight. I'm not. And I'm like, oh, okay. I take it off and I saved it. I don't know
Yep.
where it is now. It's somewhere lost in my garage, but
yeah. I've been
I knew about his
I've been
tomfoolery.
had by my own.
Tomfoolery.
I've been had by my own pranking.
Oh, yes, you have.
So,
Well, there was the one with when it was on your hat.
hmm
Yeah, someone had put that on your hat. And I
Someone
guess you
put on
didn't
my hat.
realize
I
it.
never knew that
It was
was on
right
there.
where the Bad Boys is,
Yeah,
essentially, and they just put
Yep.
it over the top of the.
yeah. Didn't even know that was
No.
on there. I was walking around with it on,
Thank God you never
looking
got
like
me.
an idiot.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Anything other fun or interesting stories at work or
Oh
in
my
volleyball
God.
or?
It's so you guys just had him on was Mark.
Mark, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mark
Mark
L.
was my
Oh yeah.
Mark was my first coach
Oh, at Sherwood.
at Sherwood. He
Okay.
was my first coach, and Mark being tall, dark, and handsome as he is,
He is.
He's like the
know.
second best looking man I know.
right? The guy makes me mad because the guy's in good shape.
The
and he's
first
like
one's when you look in
50.
the mirror. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, I am
course.
pretty good looking.
That's true. That's true.
Love you guys.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
Hashtag Tommy
un-
Buckmaster.
Unbelievable.
and so Mark was my first coach.
Yeah.
And we hooked this guy for domestic violence. And this guy is like full on hillbilly, just guy deserved to go to jail. But this guy, when we hooked him, he was wearing, he had no t-shirt, had
Yeah.
the long flowing, no offense, but long flowing mullet going on.
Camaro
I don't have a
hair.
mullet though, but it made it look like with
Was
the
it
hat on.
was it a Kentucky
all one
waterfall?
leg.
He had the full on Kentucky waterfall going,
There
bro.
you
And
go.
he's no shirt, wearing overalls.
Oh,
Hey, I
right.
had that same thing on
Oh.
yesterday.
Was he playing Dexy's Midnight Runners in the background?
Probably. So we end up hooking this guy.
Sorry, 80s reference.
And he's drunk as hell. He was smacking on his girlfriend at the
Yeah.
time. And so we take him for domestic, and we take him back to the old Sherwood police station, which was an old house at the time. Like,
Yeah.
mind you, this was like almost, this was, God, 28 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a long ass time ago,
Yeah.
right? It's like when I first started. And so this guy's wasted drunk. And I'm sitting at the desk. This is back when we used to handwrite all our custodies and all
Oh,
our
so
stuff.
painful.
Yeah.
right.
You get cramps in your hand.
Erasable
Yeah.
ink.
So I'm
You
filling
have
out
your whiteout.
my custody sheet. Got my sergeant over here who's super short, little short
Yeah.
guy, and you got Luca over here. Whoop, I said Mark's name, but whatever. So he's standing over here, and this guy looks at me and goes, "I'm gonna kick all your asses, you fucking when I get out. Starting with you." He's looking at the sergeant, goes, "You short MFer." I'm like, okay. Looks at me and goes, "And you Asian MFer."
Oh my god.
He looks over at Luca and goes, "And you whatever the hell you are."
That's terrible.
And Mark's just standing there like what? And I've told that story to so many people over the years that know him, and everyone just cracks up because people kind of go, yeah, what the hell are you?
What are you, Mark?
Yeah, but that was probably one
my
of the
gosh.
funniest things that
That is pretty good.
like, I mean, there's probably more.
Oh, there's
I
tons.
what I wish, man, I wish I would have wrote all those funny things
You're
that
not
have
the
happened
first one to
throughout.
say that in one of
I
these.
truly,
I
like
second that for sure.
I wish I would have just
Memoirs.
kept a memoir about
My
all the
memoirs.
funny the crazy
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
or whatever that
Some of
has
it you
happened.
remember, but there's stuff that you
probably
oh
forgotten.
yeah. Then you
Yeah, to recall
When you
that
said
stuff.
people's names, I can't even think who they are.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, man.
Who's that?
God, I wish I would have just
Who?
wrote some of that stuff down because we've been in this job a long time.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
And
People
come
have
across
gone, yeah.
come across great people, but crazy things and funny things, and it's
Yeah.
like there's so much has happened throughout this career that But one of the great things that I appreciated about this job, and I don't think a lot of people can say it is
Yeah.
when I went on vacation, like gone and just check out for a week, 2 weeks or whatever,
Yeah.
I was actually excited to come back to work. I was always
Yeah.
looking forward to coming back to work.
I was looking forward to get back
know.
to the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause You
Not
miss,
really
you
going to
miss that
work.
camaraderie.
Yeah.
I just miss the camaraderie, hanging out,
Yeah.
going to coffee.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
And I
mean,
kind of
but
agree with you. I think early
I
on,
enjoyed
like the
the-
first at
I
least
enjoyed the-
half, maybe almost 2/3, you like that. And then the whole day shift skill will thing, the coin.
Yeah.
And
Ugh.
it's not that we didn't like the job. It's just like
It was
it's-
just like I don't want to.
it starts
I don't
to
want the
become a
paper.
job, you know.
Yeah.
And
I got to deal with this.
Yeah.
oh, and I got to go to
Yeah.
court. Oh,
Yeah. Once you get in,
We got the range.
once
oh, geez, that's
once
a
you
job.
get within that 5 years of retiring and you come to day shift, you
Yeah.
kind of like, I'm just.
Can you do more?
I just
traffic
want to
stops?
punch in and
No.
punch
No,
out.
I'm
you know.
gonna take all the frauds and
No,
I'm gonna
take
sit
the
here and
frauds in my
type them up.
car.
Yeah.
Sit in my
Yeah.
parking lot.
It's funny because when I that coin I brought you from Phoenix,
Yeah.
when I ran into those Phoenix PD guys, and I go up and introduce myself and talking to those guys and I like, I did almost 27, like, we're all double dipping, man. We're retired. And like, oh, you guys are doing the buyback thing. Like, yeah, I got
They have the
27.
same kind of program down
Same
there.
exact
Oh.
thing, right? These guys had like, one guy had like 31 years. I'm looking at him like, why are you here?
Yeah.
But like any other cop, he's probably been divorced a bunch of times,
Yeah.
right? Or whatever. So he's got to work. But one guy had 30, one guy had 29, the other guy had 27. And I'm like, we got coined a phrase by our swing shift guys for our day
Yeah.
shift. And it was like all the skill and none of the will. And the guys are like, oh my God, that is so us. He goes,
Yeah.
if you guys ever make a coin, man, you got to get us one.
I'm going to dime out Brian R. He's the one that did
Yeah.
this. It's his fault, and he knows.
Yeah.
I just talked to him before we
Mhm.
did the podcast,
Yeah.
He
and he's
calls,
going to be on it soon.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, thank you, Brian.
But we
because
are.
it's-
That's true about us.
that is.
And he'll laugh and say it wasn't him, but
But yeah, we know
oh,
it's
it
you.
was.
we know deep down.
We know it.
It's
Deep
okay.
down.
It's okay.
It was
we
him.
forgive you
Because we'll be the first one to say you're true. That's true. We are
Yeah.
all the skill,
Yeah.
none of the will.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
well because it's
Stones
it's-
come out.
it's-
I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Fuck
We
that.
ta-
I don't want to go to that.
When you first
let
here,
the new guys
you
get there
have
first.
No skill.
Yeah.
But you're so excited to be there because you get to drive fast and chase people and arrest people and hold people accountable. And then as you come on the skill or the will starting to come down a little bit and the skill goes up, and then you realize, like we were talking with Scott.
You start
And he-
looking at things through a
and
different
then
lens.
it's like when you get a hot call when you're new, you're like spilling coffee and running out.
Well,
Scott made a good point about that. And then as you get older,
Well, it's not
or
even going to be
longer-
that way when you get there.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
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 Like,
Oh,
take our time.
You get the
Yeah.
you
And
get
write
the
it
chimes.
down, and then you start walking.
Oh,
to
man
your
with a
car.
gun. Oh, that's just going to probably be a
You're
swatting call.
You're sprinting to your car
You
as
guys
a
go and
new
run.
guy.
That's the swatting call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See all these
Yeah.
young,
I'm not
young,
going. I'm
young
clearing.
guys run into
Yeah.
their cars and
Yeah.
taking off like a bat out of hell. out of the parking
5129.
lot.
I'm clearing
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. 5129. Is that call really for me? That was me.
Did you,
5129.
did you say
Did,
that?
did you realize that I'm off in
You
10
know I'm
minutes?
off in 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know swing shifts on dispatch.
Yeah.
That's
There are
I
other
remember-
shifts to choose from.
I remember I'd go car to car with Tommy, and we'd be sitting there, car to car, and chimes of dee-doo, dee-doo, and we'd just look at each other like,
You
and
remember?
then we would just wait and just someone key up and you just hear the engine noise in the background. Wah, I'm on and they're like, okay. And then we pull the call up like all these cars are on. Like, well, I'm clearing myself. I'm not going to go to that.
You remember
There's
that?
already
you remember
30
that
cars.
certain-
Somebody pushed the red button.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Gerba. Because he was going to go drive code 3 to get
Yes.
the tank for the SWAT team.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Remember that certain deputy on swing shift that would call? You called no, you're in the office with the sergeant, and he called the sergeant and said we weren't going to do anything. Going to that call, and then we had to call and go talk to that deputy. What the fuck? What are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
You heard the whole thing over the speaker,
I'm like,
dude.
Oh,
right
okay.
What are you doing? He's a sergeant now, but what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
No, we're on our lunch,
Tom's,
dude.
Tom's bestie.
Yeah.
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 You're free. You take it. I'm on my lunch, boy.
You're doing a great job.
Like there's 30 other cars
And it was
on
nothing.
right now.
I got there was
30 other
nothing.
cars that could
Yeah.
probably take that.
Yeah.
We don't need to take it.
That's something I'm
Well,
supposed
they're
to clear.
all going.
Yeah.
They're all going.
It's a mail
No
theft
one else is
now.
in district.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay in district since nobody else is here. I'm the only one on the east side now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'm
Out
the
in the
only
west
one
end.
here or for
Yeah.
all of this area.
I'm going to go to the office and just quietly log off.
yeah. It's like he was just here 5 minutes ago. Where did he go?
So, one thing we always end with
Yeah.
Mm.
is any advice for newer guys? Anything?
Yes.
Or
we
people
can
close
say?
to retirement or
Yeah. One of the one thing, and I actually always told my recruits this, right? Like we have, this is a brotherhood and this is
Right.
we have like, this is a club, so to speak, right? We all do the same job. We're all in it for each other and it's an important job and it's
Yeah.
an honorable job. And, there's always camaraderie. You're always going to find people that you love and you're going to hang out with. My advice to new guys was don't forget where you come from. Don't just hang out with cops all the
Yeah.
time.
good advice.
Don't just hang out with cops because we as a species can become very cynical, can become very jaded.
No.
This job will do it to us.
Can
if
hate
we let it,
everybody.
Nobody
you know.
is worth any. No.
right? We're called racist and
Oh.
all this kind of BS, right?
Yeah.
And I told him, I go, you weren't a cop before you started this job.
Yeah.
So don't forget the people that you were friends with before.
Yeah.
And teach your friends not to introduce you as
The cop.
Tom. This is Tom. He's a cop. You
Yeah.
know, there was
Yeah.
friends of mine I had to do that. Like
Yeah.
a lot of my volleyball friends, like,
This
hey,
is
this is
my buddy
Mike. He's
Jim.
a
He's
cop.
a
wife still
garbage
does that.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, dude, I
And
don't.
he's a postal carrier, and,
Yeah.
and this
Yeah, you
person's
do
a
that
te-
to-
yeah.
And
And
they
I get it.
identify us as our job.
And I get
Yeah.
it because our job is
It's
like,
on TV.
like
It's
people,
interesting.
people want to know
It's
what it's like, and
romanticized,
it's
yeah.
romanticized, or it's
Yep.
like, or we're the worst people ever, or we're the best people, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
I always told my recruits, like, don't forget where you come from.
Yep.
Don't just
Agreed.
hang out with cops all the time.
Yep.
You know, you can still have your cop buddies and
Yeah,
do
'cause
stuff
that's
on the
great,
weekends and do
Because
all
you
that.
guys get each other. Yeah.
And
after
you
a while,
understand
yeah.
there's that, but also have friends outside this job and find something else.
Because you may have grown up with those people and
Yeah.
they've known you since you were very young.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
then,
still have a few of those good
and,
friends.
and
yeah.
don't
I do
and
too.
don't wear fucking 5'11" stuff on your weekends. You know,
Yeah,
don't be
5'11".
fucking that guy, right? Like,
Yeah.
I remember when you sent that email, people were like, so sometimes people, when they retire, they'll send out this goodbye email and here's my contact info. Good luck. Stay in touch.
yeah,
Mike's was funny. He said something good about people who just don't wear 5'11s. And then everybody's like,
don't
do
be
I wear 5'11s? I
don't
should
be that
wearing-"
guy. On,
Mike says not to wear those.
Yeah.
The people were self-conscious. Afterward.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wear 5'11s because Mike
I got
said
a lot
no.
of people reach out to me and goes, "That was the best exit
It was
email
so-
I've
it was
ever
good.
read.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. I actually kept a copy of it and because
Yeah.
I read it every once in a while and just kind of laugh at myself.
Yeah.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's good.
But that was the big thing for me, man, is like, just, this is a job, not a lifestyle. That
Yeah.
was- that was the
That's what it
biggest
is.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
just a job.
This is-
Unfortunately, it becomes a
job.
lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a job.
And we all fall into that
And
trap
it's a
to
very-
some degree because you get excited about it and you want to
Yeah.
do good. And
yeah.
Yeah, it's a very important, honorable job, but it's a job, not a lifestyle.
yeah.
And that's where I kind of left it with new guys.
Yeah.
Like, don't let this, because this job will eat you alive if you let
It
it.
will.
It's
You
bad
know.
enough as it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? In a lot of ways. And again, I'm not saying it's all bad. There's a lot of good.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
You meet a lot of good people. You make you a lot of good friends.
Well, and
Right?
Tom and I
Lifelong
will
friends.
agree, and you will agree. I mean, I know you have a job now, but it's something you love to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we had that job and we worked hard at it and we did a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and now we don't have to work.
And I don't miss it.
And,
Yeah.
and we don't, I don't miss working actually.
Yeah.
but
No.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm
I
right
hate
with you
today
guys.
because I'm so busy today. I hate
Yeah.
Wednesdays.
You
So
better-
busy.
Hey, after this, you need to go home and just sit down, just relax,
I know.
watch your favorite show.
I got to go to Costco.
Yeah.
Oh God,
God,
there's
see,
so many
big-
people at Costco.
I know,
It's
it's
going to
so
be very
busy.
stressful.
I know.
Yeah. And you know, and
Angry
now.
Tom pushing his cart around. Where are the eggs? Ah,
Yeah, I got to get
Yeah.
eggs. Yeah.
gotta get lots of
Yeah.
eggs. The protein to
Eggs
make
and
you buff.
chicken.
Yeah, the protein in. Yeah,
I'll get some more protein.
yeah. Gerba needs more eggs.
Well, we really appreciate
Yeah,
you coming
thank you,
on.
Mike.
All
Thank
the
you
way
guys
from
for
the
having me.
All the
AZ.
way the AZ.
The
You know,
AZ,
the
man.
Scottsdale,
By way of the wall.
Scottsdale.
Love it down there.
Scottsdale.
Love it
Yeah.
down there, dude. It's hot right now, but it's
Nice. We have
so-
friends down there.
so
It's
Yeah.
110 on the sun.
Yeah, it's good. I'm not complaining whatsoever. I mean, I work in beach volleyball now for a living.
Yeah.
Like who?
Shorts
Like
and flip-flops.
I am.
Well, that
I
kind
am-
of sucks, fella.
I
I'm.
know.
I'm a lucky dude, man.
Yeah, you're all right.
See, I love
getting-
it. Shorts, flip-flops, no shirt. That'd be me all day long.
I went from
well,
a
no,
fun,
you'd wear
awesome
a kimono
career.
when it's a little warmer.
And maybe a
little
kimono
cooler.
when it gets a little chilly when it gets down to like
Yeah, you got to put
95.
the heavy kimono, and it's got the fur
I got
collar. Yeah.
Can't wear my fur coat down there. It's really hot, I bet.
Yeah,
But
My
you
fur coat won't.
fur coat without a shirt.
It's still hot
like
with a fur
Craven
coat.
the
down
Hunter.
here. I don't think I'd ever wear a fur coat in Arizona.
looking like Teddy Swims
But
over here.
you should.
I love Teddy Swims. I love that
Just-
guy.
you're
get a
his
picture for-
doppelbanger.
I heard that.
for
I've
sure.
already heard that before.
There's that wall in
I've heard that
Scottsdale that has
before.
Scottsdale like painted on
Hey,
it.
Teddy Swims,
I
come
can't
on a
remember what that
podcast
is.
if
You've
you
probably
if you
seen
watch
it.
this.
Yeah,
He needs to have the fur coat, no shirt, and just flip flops.
I
That's it.
I
He
will
could
gladly be there and take the
Winnie
photo.
the Pooh it. Yeah.
Yeah,
He'll be on this podcast pretty soon. When
I
it gets a
wanna-
little chillier. Put the fur coat on.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Actually, you can see I was at the sportsman show wearing it
yeah. Oh no.
with my,
I'll-
with
I'll
my
need
buddy
to- I'll need to bring
Fish
my.
on Extreme.
I'll need to bring out my bus and have you
Oh.
get in a driver's seat with that fur coat on it.
Oh yeah,
Get
Oh
in
my
bus.
it's all white, baby.
Don't
White.
forget, thank you, Tall Fur.
Yeah, thank
Tall
you,
Fur,
Tall
thank
Fur.
you,
If you want to be a
Scott.
sponsor,
Job,
hit me
Scott.
up. Come find me. I'm everywhere. All platforms.
The best, the good stuff,
Hit
man.
it,
That is. It's good
Follow
stuff.
us. Hit the like button. Do all that shit. All right.
Smash it.
Smash it. All right.
All right.
Again, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Tall
Thanks,
Fur.
boys. Love
Thanks,
you guys.
Robbie, the engineer.
Good job, Robbie.
We'll see you in 2 and 2. Peace.
Ba-dum.